Chris, what about Sasfin? Is Sasfin safe and boring?
Oh, no, certainly not boring. Oh, by Jove. No, it's funny. David and I sat beside each other in the presentation today, and I hadn't been to a Sasfin presentation for a few years, and I thought it was actually a very slick presentation. The guys really came very well prepared. They knew exactly what they were talking about, and I thought it was very honest and open and transparent. Okay, on the private equity side, I think that's where the big concern was, because that went from 40 odd million to virtually zero. And that played a big part in the drop in earnings. But on the rest of the business, the kind of more traditional parts of Sasfin, I think on that business banking front particularly, it was looking very good. And I think on the wealth management side, we've got Roland Sassoon's son, Michael Sassoon, there taking over the reins. And I think from what I gather talking afterwards, people seem to like him. I think he's put a good plan in place. And I think this may well be the bottom. For Sasfin is the way I rationalise the whole thing.
Certainly Roland Sassoon, in our interview with him, said he sees fairly good growth, doesn't see a recession hitting South Africa again. He was quite confident, but the market wasn't very confident, so it marked it down almost 5%.
As far as the market's concerned, it's a small cap stock, it's less than R1 billion market cap, and it's incredibly tightly held by the Sassoon family, okay? I don't know what the exact thing is, but they must be about 40% or thereabouts. So it means that it doesn't trade particularly well. So from that aspect, you're perhaps going to put off a lot of would-be investors. But fundamentally, the business looks very good to me.
So I was actually looking at comparing the share graphs of the banks. Sasfin is down about 20% this year, so it is actually the worst performer amongst all the banking groups in South Africa. For that reason alone, might it be a bit of a recovery story? Is that not a good reason to buy shares in a company just because it's fallen so much?
This company, in one form or another, one guise or another, been around for what, 60 years? I think is the.
It's been around 60 years.
So it's not going to disappear. It's not going to vaporize. It's going to be there. And as I say, I think you've got a lot of really good professional people in this business. So one has to take a view as to where it's going to go in the next few years. And it may well be a turnaround situation.
Okay. I can't ask you anything more, David. It's probably the
just that
quietest
I'm a little
I've ever
poorer
seen you.
today than I was yesterday.
All right. Well, getting quickly onto the questions. I know this is you'll love this one. What is the panel's view on Simmers and Jack? Of course, Simmers and Jack doesn't really hold many assets anymore
Why
because
do they ask
Village.
The question? Because
I don't know.
it's 1 cent or 2 cents.
Maybe the question is rather on Village, and Village actually came out with results today. Bernard Swanepoel's very confident that they're going to make lots of money in the next quarter. Market seems to share his confidence.
The problem I have, I mean, David and I go way back. In the old days, you had marginal gold mines.